right, for today's lesson, we're going to look at volume of a rectangular prism. So first, we need to know what is a prism. So it is a geometric figure that's going to be three-dimensional. It's going to have two bases. So we're going to have, most of the time we're going to have triangle bases, square bases, or rectangle bases. And then all the other sides will be rectangles that go around the bases. So we look over to the right. These are what kind of different prisms. So you can see you're going to have two bases. They'll be across from each other or parallel from each other. They'll be the same shape. Okay, so you know what is volume. Well, volume is the amount of space occupied by an object. So how many boxes will it take to put in the truck? So we're filling it up. So volume, we think of like liquid. Same thing with kind of prisms, like how much can we fill inside it? So we do have a formula for prisms. It is V equals big BH. So we've been working with a little b. We never called it a little b, but once we talk about volume, we do have a big B. So V is volume. H is your height. And then B is the area of the base. Okay, so that's what we call it a big B, because little b is just the base. The side is the base. But we're talking about the area of the base. So depending on what shape it's going to be, it could be a rectangle, square, triangle, pentagon. Okay, but we're just looking at rectangular prisms. Okay, so down below we're going to find the volume of our two shapes. So we have V equals big BH. So your base, it will be the bottom. Not always, but most of the time. So for our big B, we find the area. So we're going to multiply those together. 7 times 2 is 14. And again, your height is how tall it stands. That's an easy way to identify your base, which is going to be 4. Then we're going to multiply 14 times 4, which is 56 m. And then for volume, we're going to put a little 3 because it's for 3 dimensions. Okay, the one to the left is a little bit different because it says m squared. So what that means is they've already found the area. The area is 24. So V equals big BH. So our big B is 24. And again, there's your height, which is 6. We're going to multiply 24 times 6, which is 144. And again, meters with a 3. We call that cubed. Okay, so let's look at some more examples. Okay, so when you were in 5th and 6th grade, you learned about volume. It was length times width times height. So that's what we're doing. We're just calling it V equals big BH. Okay, so again, when it has the m squared, that's already done for us. So there's your base, there's your height, and then we're just going to multiply. So big B is 30, height is 6. 30 times 6 is 180 meters cubed. Okay, so I'm going to identify my height. Then that means the numbers left are my base. So I'm going to multiply 4 times 4, which is 16. My height is 8. So I'm going to multiply 16 times 8, which is 128. And there are no units, so we'll just leave it as 128. Okay, so again, there's your height. That means the number left is our base. Since there's only 2 numbers, that's going to be our big B. So big B is 18, height is 7. We're going to multiply them together. And we get 126 inches squared. Okay, so this one, you can't see where your base is, but again, it's on the bottom. So we know height is how tall it stands. So it's going to be 2. So that means the numbers left are my base, which is going to be 3 and 6. I'm going to multiply those together, which is 18. And then 18 times 2 is 36 feet cubed. Oops. Got to put a 3 on that last one. Okay. So I'm just going to slide it over. So again, we don't see what the base really looks like, what shape, but we can identify which is our height, which is the number that is how tall it stands. So we know it's going to be 5, which means these two numbers is our bases. So we're going to multiply 4 times 3, which is 12. And then 12 times 5, which is 60 centimeters cubed. Okay, so again, there's your height. There is your big B. Again, when they just give you two numbers, it's already your big B. So we have 16 and 4. 16 times 4 is 64 millimeters cubed. All right, so again, there's your height. Your big B is the 36 centimeters squared, because it's already done for us since there's two numbers. And again, we're just going to multiply 36 times 2, which is 72 centimeters cubed. Okay, and then our last one. So again, it doesn't really show us what the base where it's located, but we can identify the height, which is our 8. So that means these two numbers left, we're going to multiply them. So 3 times 5 is 15. Then we're going to multiply 15 times 8. Then we get 120 inches cubed. All right, so your homework will look just like this. The answers will be on the bottom, so you can mark them off as you go.